Hey, sweet friends. Today we are talking all things sick days and days when we don't get sleep and days when we are just not feeling it hormonally and how to take care of ourselves right where we're at. I think this is a big piece that is missing in the wellness space about what to do when real life happens. And it's the basis for my program that I have for women. So if you are new here, I'm Molly. I am a registered nurse and a mind-body wellness coach for women who are 35 plus, going through perimenopause, postmenopause, all the things. And I also am a mama of two wonderful humans. One of my boys has special needs. He has autism, and I'm a wife, and I have a big, busy life. And I refuse to let my big, busy life keep me from being able to be healthy, because I have this big why, right? I have this huge, huge why, and it's my boys. It's also my family members and my husband and my friends, and I want to be as strong and healthy for as long as humanly possible for those reasons. And so today we're talking about what do we do when life happens. I, as you may hear from my voice, am getting over a cold. And before, when life would happen and I would be sick, or I didn't get good sleep, or I was in my luteal phase of my menstrual cycle where I just felt like run down and tired. Before, I used to just not do anything. It would be where I would fall off the invisible wagon and I would quit all of the wellness habits that I had because they didn't talk about the different programs that I've done, have never talked about like customizing them for your real life. And so I would fall off the wagon. I wouldn't exercise, I wouldn't eat well, or I wouldn't eat because I didn't feel hungry. And sleep was a mess, and I didn't prioritize it, and I would just stay sick longer and fall off the wagon. So what is different now is that my whole way of being healthy and sticking to my well-being habits is based on me customizing each day to my everyday life. Now, what does that mean? So in my normal day-to-day life, I am 37 years old at the time of this taping, and I am preparing to go into perimenopause, and I am doing everything I can to help that transition be as painless as possible, or to support myself while I go through that. And so that means that in my normal weeks, I am doing strength training twice a week. I'm also doing HIIT or sit training twice a week. These are the best things that we can do as women to age strong and healthy for our heart, our lungs, our bones, our brain, our muscles, all the things. And I also do soul movement. And soul movement is It's what it sounds like. It's movement that feels good to my soul. Now, my soul movement days are usually 3 days a week. They're my recovery days. And it's what I have built the foundation of my well-being habits on, because when life happens, as it does, these are the things that I always fall back on so that I don't fall off of an invisible wagon. Now, let's get into this really deep here and what that actually means very specifically, because that was very, you know how I am. Okay. So what does that mean? When I first started moving my body consistently, I just started with soul movement, which is what I start all of my clients on in my program, What We Should Have Been Taught. If you have questions on that, the link is in the bio. But soul movement is just a bunch of different movements that I've found that I love. I love walking. I love dancing to ridiculous YouTube videos. I love my mini trampoline. And a lot of the movement that I do I can do on any day those soul movements, even when I'm sick, which is a big deal. Even when I haven't gotten a lot of sleep, I do them because it doesn't feel exhausting. It feels like, oh gosh, this is going to make me feel better if I do these things. And so this last week, my boys were sick, I was sick, my husband was sick, we're all sick. And each day I wake up, I do my movement in the mornings. My clients, the majority of them do it at night. But in the mornings I'll wake up and think, okay, what does my body need today? Hormonally, how is my sleep? How am I feeling mentally, emotionally, physically, all the things. And then I do what feels most supportive. And last week I did soul movement the entire week. There was no weightlifting. There was no high intensity interval training or sit training. There was just soul movement. But here's the beautiful thing, is that is what has kept me consistent I'm going on 5 years now of moving my body almost every single day for at least 10 minutes of intentional movement. I'm up to 15 to 20 minutes now. But when I first started, I just started with 10 minutes a day of movement that I loved. And I got this idea from James Clear. He wrote the book Atomic Habits, which I highly recommend to anybody. And he talks about starting small in order to build that habit, in order to become consistent with movement or whatever goal it is that you have. And so I set the goal of, I'm going to move my body every day for 10 minutes, and all movement counts. All movement counts. I'm talking, did you clean your house today? Cool, that counts. Did you do some gardening today? That counts. Did you go for a walk today? That counts. Did you jump on a mini trampoline? That counts. Did you dance in your kitchen? That counts. All movement counts. And I did it every single day for a year. I tracked it on the Happier app, which is a really, really awesome app that you can take like a photo log. They have different ways of tracking, but the photo log was my favorite because every single day I was able to take a picture of the movement that I was doing and look back and see all of these movements that I've done. And for me, that habit formation was foundational and is foundational to sticking with movement, exercise, because you can see your progress. You can look back at those pictures and see, oh my gosh, I really did stick to something. Because I don't know about you, and please leave a comment in the feed. I had prior to that done so many workout routines that, like I said at the beginning of this, I would get sick or everyday life would happen. And even though I was doing great before, I would fall off the wagon and I would stop them. Because I'm a perfectionist also. It's all or nothing. It was all or nothing for me. And this has made it so that, in the words of the wonderful Betty Rocker, all or something happens. So every single day, I move my body for at least 10 minutes doing some kind of movement. Because here's the other amazing thing, and why I start all of my clients off on this in the program, is even 10 minutes of intentional movement can decrease your risk of all causes of death by 18%. 18%, 10 minutes. And a lot of times we feel like, oh, it's just 10 minutes. It's not going to make a difference, so I won't do anything. And the secret sauce is that you are building this habit. And what we do in the program is we build from there. Then we start incorporating strength training and sit training once we have that habit. But we build the foundation of intentional movement every day because life happens and we have to plan for life. So many of the women that I coach and know, and me personally, have big, huge, busy lives. And you deserve to be healthy for as long as humanly possible. And we have to build our confidence back up because, like I said, I don't know about you, but my confidence every single time I would quit a program because it didn't factor in real life would plummet. I would feel bad about myself. I would feel like I was a failure. I would feel like I couldn't stick to anything. I didn't have enough willpower. And this soul movement is it's just the factor that has allowed me to stick with movement. And so for my sick week last week, I did soul movement. I woke up every day, and some days we got little to no sleep. Some days we got more sleep. I just kind of based it on how I was feeling, and that's how I do my movement anyways. And so I did walking last week. I did yoga. I really love Brett Larkin on YouTube. Go check her out. She has so many great like immune boosting yoga sessions, which, just so you know, I was not a big yoga fan before, but I love her. And it feels more like stretching to me instead of like crazy yoga poses. Excuse me. And even on my like really hard days where I feel like, gosh, I can't even breathe, I feel so congested, she has these yoga sessions where you just kind of open up like your lungs and your ribs and all of the things that are just like condensed and feeling congested. And it feels so supportive and not like one more thing I have to do. It's one thing I can do that makes me feel better. And then I also did mini trampoline. Now the mini trampoline is one that for me, there's definitely more high intensity ones, but when I am sick, on my higher energy sick days, if that makes any sense, I will do mini trampoline. And the reason is it helps with like your lymphatic fluids. It helps kind of cleanse your body, and move the fluids through your body so that you're getting that gunk out of your system faster. And it also, again, it helps just kind of loosen my body up because I feel so stiff and congested and just like, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes like when I finally do fall asleep when I'm sick, I like sleep in the same position all night and I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, my back, my shoulders, everything hurts. And so just doing the mini trampoline helps me just loosen up my body and helps move that lymphatic fluid through my system so that I can get well sooner. But I think this is I know, actually for me, this is the piece that has been missing in the health space. And I love Dr. Stacy Sims because she talks about this in little details throughout all of her talks, how like we have to be able to listen to our own bodies and figure out what they need that day. And what is really great is that because I have this system where if I'm not feeling good, I change up what I need to do, I know that I'm going to hit it hard with strength training and HIIT training and sit training when I feel better because I haven't just stopped moving. It doesn't feel like I'm picking up from not moving for weeks and weeks and weeks. I've still been moving my body. And I trust myself because I've been doing this long enough that I know, I will do strength training again. This is just an off week, which was a really, really hard thing for me as a perfectionist. Again, for me, it was all or nothing before, and that is something that I've really had to work on myself with to fix that mindset, because that mindset is what was keeping me stuck. It was keeping me from sticking with things, and this all or something mindset and what does my body need today has helped me stick to things like strength training and HIIT sit training. And this is even more important as we go through perimenopause through postmenopause, because recovery days are going to be different. With the fluctuating in hormones, especially in perimenopause, you are going to need possibly more recovery days. We don't recover the same way that we did in our 20s because our estrogen and our progesterone are fluctuating like crazy during this time. And then once we get through to postmenopause, our estrogen and progesterone are at the lowest that they will be, but they've kind of stabilized. But again, estrogen and progesterone have been really supportive for our body up until this point. And so they've been helping with things like inflammation and our joints and our ligaments and our tendons and all of those things, helping us kind of recover faster And when they are fluctuating or at their lowest level, we don't have that protection like we normally do. And so we have to get really smart and get really supportive and loving with our body and say, okay, hey, I feel like you are just tapped today. What do you need today to recover today? And so learning this piece of listening to your body is so, so crucial for maintaining your well-being in the long run, because I'm in it for the rest of my life. This is what I am doing for the rest of my life. Unless, studies change, then I will change too. But the studies show for women that we need to move our bodies every single day. Again, we start with 10 movements of intentional movement every single day, consistently, not perfectly. So if there are days, and there has been a handful of days where I haven't done any movement, the day got away from me, or something happened, but it's very rare, but it happens. And we just pick up, we resume. There is no wagon to fall off of that is made up. And we resume. And then we incorporate strength training. I'm working on progressively getting heavier and heavier, because that is what is shown to be healthy for women in the long run. And we work on doing short bursts of cardio, because long cardio is not the most beneficial thing for us as we age as women. And so building this foundation of movement that can be used on any day is key to staying with it long term. Other things that I've done for myself during this time when I've been sick is getting outside. If the weather's crummy, I will at least open my door and just let some fresh air into my house. I drink a lot of warm fluids, like hot lemon water with some honey in it. Of course, my coffee in the morning. And just getting up and kind of moving my body. I also, a lot of times when you're sick, you don't feel hungry. And where I've not supported my body well in the past is I just wouldn't eat. And my mindset in the past was like, oh, well, I'm not eating, so I'll probably lose weight while I'm sick. Great. We've all done that where we've been so sick and we'd be like, oh my gosh, my clothes feel looser. I feel great. Like, that is not healthy. It's not. And it's not your fault if you felt that way. Like, that is just how we were raised as women, by society, including our moms. Like, our moms were raised this way, our grandmas were raised this way, and we are going to take our power back, darn it. But I make sure now that I am eating small meals throughout the day. Even if I don't really feel hungry, my body still needs to be nourished. And sometimes those hunger fullness cues can be out of whack when you're stressed, when you haven't gotten sleep, when you're sick. And so sometimes we have to rely on, it's just time for me to eat. Even though I'm not very hungry, I'm still going to try and get in some protein and some fiber and some fat, some carbs, just to help out my body, because my body needs that fuel, that nourishment to be able to heal. Like, I have to be able to give my body what it needs in order to feel better. And on that note, sleep is so, so important. Man, if me and my husband joke about this a lot, because we go to bed, we are in bed by 9:30 tops most nights. And we have really prioritized our sleep because we don't know what the night's going to look like with a special needs little human. Sometimes he gets up in the middle of the night, and so we don't know kind of what our sleep's going to look like. We have to get sleep when we can. And B, most importantly, like, it is so crucial for so many things. Like, our whole body resets when we sleep. And I know you've probably heard a million times, like, you got to get your sleep, but it's like one of the first things that we cover in my program, because it affects how hungry you are the next day, like your cravings, how you're, if you feel full, it affects your stress level the next day. A lot of women in particular are more anxious when they don't get sleep. It affects your estrogen and your progesterone as well. And it affects being able to cleanse your body of toxins, including your brain. Like, I love Lisa Mosconi is an amazing, amazing human, and she does so much work on women's brain health. And she talks about how it's like the wash cycle for your brain when you sleep. And so we have to give our body the things that it needs to feel supported and loved. And by knowing that you're in this for the long haul, we are sticking to this process forever. We have to make it work with our lives. I hope that this resonated with you. If you have any questions or any thoughts about this topic in general, or any topics that you want me to cover on here, please let me know. But I just want to give you permission to take some time. If your body's telling you, I am exhausted, I'm tired, I can't do a heavy workout, it is fine. You will come back to it, and you will come back to it better if you give yourself that time and space to heal and recover. Still move your body in whatever way feels good, whatever way feels supportive, and then come back to it. Just resume. We don't fall off a wagon. It's not starting and stopping, it's resuming. We took a pause, life threw us, whatever life threw us, and we're just going to pick up from there. I hope you guys have a marvelous day, and yeah, reach out if you have any questions. Take care.